으쌰 으차차 힘내라 힘내라 으차차 깨어나라 깨어나 으쌰 으쌰 으차차 힘내라 힘내라 으차차 이처럼 밀어라 비틀비틀 오뚜기 삐뚤삐뚤 오뚜기 으쌰 으쌰 으차차 힘내라 힘내라 으차차 덤벼라 덤벼라 덤벼 덤벼라 덤벼라 덤벼 덤벼라 덤벼라 덤벼 덤벼라 덤벼
Hello everyone, LBT75 here, and long time no see on my YouTube channel. And before I start this video, I decided to take a break from monetizing YouTube videos. So I decided to take a break until I get 100K, and that's how I get it back. So now that I'm back on my channel for good, and before this video begins, I just want to give a special anniversary. Happy 10th anniversary, Speckles the Tarbosaurus. One of my second favorite dinosaur movies growing up, alongside Dinosaur. And, yeah, Shinobi 03 has made the best videos. And Shinobi is no longer on YouTube anymore. Rest in peace, partner. So with all that said, let the video command.
In the last few months, we looked at 3 animated dinosaur movies. Disney's Dinosaur,
My favorite.
BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs, the 3D movie,
Okay.
and Pixar's The Good Dinosaur.
Not so quite.
As we saw, each one of them had their share of problems.
True.
But you know what else they had in common? Other than the fact they were all compared to The Land Before Time?
Exactly. They feature herbivores as the main protagonists. Specifically these American dinosaur movies. Dinosaur is one of my favorite dinosaur movies of all time, and a big part of my childhood. Walking with Dinosaurs 2013, I thought it was alright, not as good as Dinosaur, but that's a movie that I can give a pass to, other than its weak voice acting and all that stuff, but I think it's a passable movie. But as for The Good Dinosaur, not so quite. But I might get into it to see why The Good Dinosaur fails. So, let's get on to the video.
They all starred herbivores.
Exactly.
Herbivores on the constant run from carnivores because they're weak to fight them head on. But ever wondered how a movie starring a carnivore dinosaur would be like?
Yeah,
Thankfully, we have not one, but 2 movies starring a carnivore dinosaur.
exactly.
And they're from Korea of all places.
Behold, Speckles the Tarbosaurus, aka the Dino King of Asia.
So today, we're taking a look at 2 movies. Technically 3, but I'll explain that later. In 2008, Korean TV channel Educational Broadcasting System, or EBS, released a 3-part documentary series about Korean prehistoric life titled Koreanosaurs, or by its alternative title, Dinosaurs in the Korean Peninsula. This series was a massive hit in Korea and led the production team to turn it into a movie.
Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever. Yeah, I thought it was a passable series and all that stuff, but originally, I thought Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever was a 2-part concept series for Speckles the Tarbosaurus. Well, Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever. If you know my thoughts on Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever, saying that it's painfully average, but I think I'm starting to take back what I said about Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever.
I treated you too harshly.
Yeah, Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever, you're no longer considered weak. Even though you take references from other media, I think you're still a good show on its own. And I just wanted to apologize for Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever. Yeah, perhaps I've been treating you too harshly.
Thus the beginning of what would be known as Speckles the Tarbosaurus, renamed to the Dino King in the US. Not to be confused with a toy commercial.
True, the anime.
The director was Han Sang-ho. According to IMDb, he also directed the 2013 animated movie Pororo the Racing Penguin and 2019's animated movie Princess Strawberry Rabbit. In addition to the sequel of Speckles released in 2017, Speckles the Tarbosaurus 2, The New Paradise, or Dino King 3D Journey to Fire Mountain.
Song Hong Ho. Yeah, I love that director. I think he's one of the most highly underrated film directors, in my opinion. He's pretty underrated, in my opinion.
The movie was produced by 3 companies: EBS, the same producers of the original documentary,
True.
Dream Search CNC, and Olive Studio. The
That's kinda
distribution
cool.
was by CJ Entertainment. Released on January 26, 2012, it attracted over 1 million admissions, making it the second most successful local animation of all times.
True.
So what difference did
agree.
the Asian market make to set it apart from the other Western attempts? Let's find out.
Oh boy. I'm
All
excited.
dinosaurs, even the biggest ones, come from small eggs. And that is where my story begins.
Oh.
Not to mention, I decided to do this reaction video for Speckles the Tarbosaurus, one of my second favorite dinosaur movies of all time, for its own anniversary. So again, happy 10th anniversary to Speckles the Tarbosaurus.
Me, the super cute 1-year-old spotty face.
Yes, people, this is the movie. Talking Dinosaurs. Well, to be exact, it's just our main dinosaur Speckles who narrates to us what's going on in the movie.
True.
This narration, though, it's almost like the narration of a documentary, but it's obviously made from the perspective of the character. Sometimes it's educational when it comes to the creatures we see here.
Whoa, it's a massive dinosaur. It's eating gravel to help with digestion. Must be a Therizinosaurus.
Other times, it's obviously to spice and dramatize the events here.
But look at me now. I'm the biggest coward.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to give out the facts that Speckles the Tarbosaurus was meant to be a movie, not a documentary. It's a movie. Sure, there's a lot of inaccuracies in Speckles the Tarbosaurus, but it's just a movie. But I think I'm starting to understand what he's coming from.
Imagine if suddenly Robert has sprouted feathers in this movie. How would the audience react to that? Oh wait, it happened with the raptors in Jurassic Park 3, and everybody called them ugly and questioned the continuity error it made. People, you're watching a movie, not a documentary.
Shinobi 03. I can understand where he's coming from, but if you look at the movie Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, where the voiceover was attached to this horse, yeah, it did not affect me, and the voiceover was understanding the character's thoughts, so you can understand what the character was doing throughout the movie. So let's get back to it.
Still better than what Walking with Dinosaurs did.
You're
Of
about
course.
to get served.
If Little Speckles' English voice sounds familiar to you, that's because he's voiced by Veronica Taylor, the original voice of Ash Ketchum from Pokemon,
Yeah.
Amelia from The Slayers, April O'Neil from the 2003 TMNT, Sailor Pluto from Sailor Moon Crystal, and Nico Robin from the
Holy
4
Christ,
Kids One
that's
Piece.
a lot of anime.
His adult self, however, was voiced by Christopher Daniels Barnes, best known as Nancy Spider-Man, Clown from the Spawn animated series, and Prince Eric from Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Cool.
Speckles is the youngest of his family. He lives with his mother, his big brother Quix, and his twin sisters. But he sadly lost them all when a rogue one-eyed Tyrannosaurus Rex in Korea? Whoops. Anyway, this Tyrannosaurus, One Eye, wanted to eliminate the competition in the territory,
Yeah, One
so he
Eye.
started a stampede that killed Speckles' siblings and personally killed his mother, leaving the baby to survive on his own. And if it's not clear by now, this has become the Lion King with dinosaurs.
But still a sad scene throughout the movie. And One Eye. Yeah, One Eye was one of the most threatening dinosaur villains I've ever seen. The most threatening dinosaur villains I've ever seen, in my opinion.
Long live the king!
Nice audio.
And I guess it's pretty clear how the story would end. Speckles would grow up in this harsh world and avenge his family after he gets older. But unlike the Lion King, Speckles doesn't meet Timon and Pumbaa to be his friends. And instead of hyenas, he gets velociraptors who not only they're colored like hyenas,
Wow.
but they're also described as scavengers eating everything to the bone
And they
like
have their own
hyenas.
personality.
Speckles grows up and meets a female of his species called Blue Eyes, the first friend he ever made in his life, later his mate. They were still young and not on par with One Eye, so they kept moving away from his territory, but One Eye was so evil he kept following them to their new nest.
Yeah.
They had another showdown, One Eye almost raping Blue Eyes because he is that damn evil. One Eye was only kicked off Speckles' territory, meaning that someday he is coming back.
For revenge.
No, the movie is not over. We still have 30 more minutes. Now Speckles and Blue Eyes are now parents of 3 hatchlings. One of them is named Speckles Jr. because he shares the same markings as his father.
Yeah, Junior, which is one of the cutest characters in the franchise. I like Junior in Dino King During the Fire Mountain way better because he has more personalities and he's more adorable, and how he was a coward at the first place and learning how to become brave.
Affected by an erupting volcano that killed one of their children and also severely injured Blue Eyes' leg.
That's
now the story
sad.
switches to trekking through the desert, and later Blue Eyes dies due to her injury and exhaustion. Thus, Speckles is now a widow with 2 children left
Such a
in
tragic
honestly
and
one of the
hard
most
moment.
intense and heartbreaking scenes in the movie, as we see Speckles desperately protecting his dying wife and kids against a horde of velociraptors, only to be forced to leave her to be their meal.
Blue Eyes? Come on.
Yeah.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes. One of my favorite scenes in this movie where Speckles fights a pack of raptors just to defend on Blue Eyes, which was kind of the most emotional moment and pretty sad because Blue Eyes is gone. Poor Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes. No.
Oh man.
No, Blue Eyes. No.
So sad and so tragic for a character.
And while this trip wasn't for too long, there was something else waiting for them in their new home. One Eye.
Yep. One Eye kept following them and... Aw, man.
He noticed his old enemy and uses the same strategy he used to kill his family,
Yeah.
creating a stampede.
But in a dark
Speckles
way.
was out cold trying to get them, so One Eye was able to kill one of the 2 kids, now leaving Speckles Jr. Speckles fights One Eye one more time, now making sure he dies by knocking him to the ocean.
Yeah.
But Jr. was also there, meaning Speckles can't get a break yet.
Jump! Yes! And here he comes. Gotcha!
Speckles and One Eye were having an epic water fight, but ultimately, One Eye was killed by a Tylosaurus.
Yeah. Which I don't know why Jurassic World decided to do this. And what the... One of my favorite villain deaths in film.
Now One Eye is finally dead for good, and Speckles saves his son and they move on with their lives together. And that was the first Speckles movie. It wasn't that bad, to be frank. Yeah, the voiceover took me out of the movie a bit, but you get used to it. It helps that it's just one character speaking and the dialogue wasn't as awful as Walking with Dinosaurs.
No, but way
It's the
better.
kind of movie that you can turn off the audio and still get to enjoy it. Though, the voiceovers weren't that great. Despite having 2 well-known voice actors with their long history of acting as some of the most popular characters in animation,
It's pretty much the end for you once those bullies get to you.
Wake up, Blue Eyes.
My sisters! Oh no!
What a persistent beast! Seems nothing can stop him.
What's happening?
Oh, and another thing is that's because it's meant to be a movie, not a documentary.
you're watching a movie, not a documentary.
And I don't want to bring that up again. It's meant to be a movie. Sure, there's a lot of inaccuracies, but it's meant to be a movie.
Not much to say about the characters since they're all from Speckles' point of view, and we don't know much about their personality. But I've got to say, One Eye is one of the scariest dinosaurs I've ever seen in a movie. There are territorial animals.
Yeah, I love One Eye. He's one of my favorite dinosaur villains of all time. My second favorite dinosaur villains. Alongside the Carnotaur, alongside Sharptooth, alongside Rudy, and Gorgon. Because those are my favorite types of dinosaur villains. And One Eye takes the second spot on my list. And I have to be real here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get some hate for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. One Eye, he's better than the Indominus, in my opinion.
And then there's sociopath animals who will kill anything they see for their own enjoyment. The movie showed us why we should fear this dinosaur, and I say it did it right.
Yeah.
We see how bloodthirsty he is, and whenever he shows up, we know something bad is going to happen, and no one can avoid it because he won't stop until everything that threatens him dies by his jaws.
Exactly.
And I say it did it right.
Yeah, I agree with Shinobi 03. Yeah, he's more threatening than the Indominus. Unlike the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World, this dinosaur mainly kills off other characters for sport. Like we see in the beginning of the film where he killed off the ankylosaur, he causes a stampede, making the dinosaurs fall to their deaths in the cliff, and others dying by getting mixed over and all that stuff. I mean, One Eye is more of a psychopath than the Indominus. A big, bad T-Rex who is more threatening. A dinosaur version of Scar, but better than the Indominus.
Whenever he shows up, we know something bad is going to happen, and no one can avoid it.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I like the Indominus from Jurassic World. She may not be a perfect dinosaur villain for me, but I say she's a decent one. But One Eye here, he's more intimidating and more threatening ever since the Carnotaur from Dinosaur and Sharptooth.
On the animation, it is cheap compared to Western standards, as seen by the CGI model sticking out a lot on the real-life backgrounds. The violence is a bit of inconsistent throughout the movie. Sometimes when the characters kill or eat another dinosaur, it doesn't show blood, but other times, blood and obvious injuries are shown. So even when you have an Asian company that tends to be looser with depiction of violence in their movies than the Western companies, it is still a children's movie and they can't show too much of it. But they still acknowledge they're eating other creatures. They're also not afraid to kill babies. If this scene was made by a Western company, they'd make Speckles feel guilty for eating another baby and would not do it. Here, yeah, he is hungry and needs to survive by whatever he can eat. He doesn't care if it's an egg or not. While some say these are minor things, I do like that this movie is willing to do these things in a children's movie to give the story a little edge and real consequences, instead of the watered down Western movies that makes every child character survive till the end, no matter how improbable it is, just to give us the everybody lives ending. Animals in the wild gets hurt. Baby animals lose their families. Baby animals can die pretty easy. This is what a movie, and I use this term loosely here, should be like. Show how harsh the world is and make it dangerous to everybody.
No wonder Speckles the Tarbosaurus is one of the most highly underrated dinosaur movies. But it's not just my favorite second dinosaur movies of all time, but very underrated. Yeah, it's still my second favorite dinosaur movies, but it's very underrated. The most highly underrated dinosaur films since Peter Jackson's King Kong and The Lost World Jurassic Park, because those dinosaur movies are very underrated. Speckles the Tarbosaurus takes the spotlight and steals the show to become one of my second favorite dinosaur movies of all time.
That's all I could say about the Speckles series. For all their flaws, these are refreshing to have for an animated dinosaur movie. If you got bored from what the Western movies has given us and their repeated formula and characters, I say give Speckles a shot. After all, it's not every day we get a carnivore as the star of the movie, which does give a different look at the Mesozoic era. While the three movies differ in presentation style, they all offer something for a specific audience to enjoy. Adults can enjoy the Patch documentary, children can enjoy Journey to Fire Mountain movie, and the family can enjoy the first movie together, from education to entertainment. If the Tyrannosaurus is the king of North America, the Tarbosaurus is the Dino King of Asia.
I'm Speckles!
Yeah! I'm Speckles! Yeah! And that was the reaction of Speckles the Tarbosaurus, aka the Dino King of Asia from Shinobi 03. And obviously, yeah, not gonna lie, I absolutely enjoy this video of Speckles the Tarbosaurus. Yeah, his reveal of Speckles is commonplace. Yeah, long before he's gone. Shinobi 03, rest in peace. If you haven't noticed, Speckles the Tarbosaurus is turning 10 years old in its anniversary. So, once again, happy 10th anniversary to Speckles the Tarbosaurus as one of my favorite dinosaur movies of all time, alongside Dinosaur and The Land Before Time and Prehistoric Planet 3D. I enjoy this film. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, and it still holds up after 10 years later. 10 years. If those who haven't seen Speckles the Tarbosaurus, I highly recommend this movie to see how awesome it is, because the movie is good and it's one of my favorites and I still enjoy it up to this. Yeah, I definitely enjoy Speckles the Tarbosaurus and its amazing sequel, Dino King Journey to Fire Mountain. So if you're new to the channel, and please sure like and subscribe, and yeah, I feel like doing a re-review of Speckles the Tarbosaurus one day. I feel like doing it, but that'll be besides the point. So other than that, I hope you all enjoy this video, and the Adventures of Buck Wild's on its way. So better be prepared up so I could enjoy my life on Friday with Adventures of Buck Wild. And I don't want to miss that. So anyways, LBT here. See you guys next time.